What's going on? We are back Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And look, everybody, I'm not alone tonight. My boy Mikey over there is feeling a little better. How are you, Mike?
Oh, Pukey Mike is done. It's new Mike. I'm a new Mike today. Like Kyle said, I was sick yesterday, drinking Trulies today. Real soldier. I'm soldiering on.
Yeah. How many people you know in this world that's like deathly fucking throwing up the day before? Not from a hangover. So I know a lot of people that have been doing that from a hangover or something and then just go right back to the fucking booze. But you were actually literally sick.
Mm-hmm.
And there you are drinking poolside fruity Trulies today. Look at you.
It's been 24 hours almost.
Dude, well, I'm glad you're feeling better. I know you must have been feeling better because you were out there mowing your yard this afternoon and nobody wants to do that shit. So
that beat me up a little bit.
That beat you up a little bit.
I thought I was seeing optical illusions, Kyle.
Obstacle. That was from the who the fuck said that?
Some guy working on the light. So on the catwalk, there were lights and the lights were messed up and the guy was trying to fix it. This is at BKFC 25. And the guy said, I don't know. It's some kind of optical illusion. And we started dying like optical illusion. Never heard known before.
I go, Mike, this fucking dude just said optical illusion. I love that shit, man. I love those kind of things. There's got to be a name for something when people fuck words up like that, like to eat your own and like,
take it for granted.
Take it for granted. Like those, there's got to be a word for that shit. But anyways, guys, we got a big show tonight. We got a guest on the show that I don't think we've ever had on the show. We've interviewed him at events before, but he was one half of the main event this past weekend in a fucking knockdown drag out fight with Arnold Adams. It was fucking awesome. BKFC 25. The main event alone was worth the price of admission. That's what I say. It was fucking fantastic.
It was awesome, yeah.
It was awesome. We're going to bring him on right now. He's the bad boy from Pensacola, Florida. He is Dillon Cleckler. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, man? How y'all doing?
Oh, we're always doing all right. Mikey's fresh off a 24-hour bug ripping fucking fruity Trulies up there.
That's right.
There you go. Get right back to it, man.
Right back to it.
Orange peach fizz. That's right. Good for the stomach.
Oh man, well, dude, good for the stomach. Yeah, good for. Dude, Truly's give me headaches, but I don't know.
It's just a seltzer.
So, dude, welcome to the show. This is the Mike and Mish Show, Mission Accomplished podcast. We've wanted to have you on in a lot of times in the past. Just you're a hard man to get a hold of sometimes. But
you got to call my wife, man.
You got to call your wife.
She'll make it happen.
Is like your wife sort of your manager as well?
She is my wifeinger for sure.
Wifeinger. All right, that's a new word. That's almost like that's like an optical illusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real story. Fucking Dillon, we're sitting right by the walkway, and there's a couple BKFC guys like fiddling around with one of the light sets right next to me, and he goes, and the guy's like, "Oh, it's fucking doing something or whatever," and the guy goes, "No, that's just an optical illusion."
Right.
Me and him started dying. We're like, that dude really believes that's the way you say it. Obstacle. Yeah. Right. Oh man. So, dude, welcome to the show. Unbelievable fight the other night. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but just to give an idea to everybody that's going to be tuning into this or is watching it live right now, like Dillon Cleckler, you're not very familiar with losing rounds throughout your entire career. Your record is pretty fucking unbelievable. If you go all the way back to your amateur days, out of like 17, 18 pro fights or combat sport fights between AMI, pro MMA, bare knuckle, you really only lost this round in the second against Arnold the other night. The first round was pretty much a draw, and then arguably you were winning the Alex Nicholson second round. Or was it the third round? I think it was second or third.
Something like that.
Yeah. So, man, that should give you guys an idea of what kind of fucking animal we got on the show tonight. So, where did you get your start in the combat sports world? Have you been in Pensacola your whole life?
No. I actually started training for MMA when I was 28. So I started real late. I played college football. I played a little bit of pro football. I suffered a back injury, which led me away from football. And I went to the doctor when I was around 25, and they said, you can get back surgery or you can start strengthening your core. So I was like, I'm gonna try to strengthen my core some. Turns out MMA is actually really good for strengthening your core. So I started doing that just to kind of find something to do. I started when I was 28, and I told myself, I'll just do this until it's not fun anymore, and I'll see how far I can go with it, and till it doesn't become fun. I turned pro 2 years later. I did 10 fights in 2 years. Turned pro at the age of 30.
Wow.
And the rest is all downhill. I actually did my first MMA fight. I was working for a cable company here in town, and a buddy of mine who started an MMA company around here, Island Fights. He called me and said, "Man, I need a heavyweight for Friday. You interested?" It was a Wednesday, and I was like, "Why not, man? Sign me up." So I did it. I met the guy who ended up coaching me in MMA backstage after weigh-ins. I fought this guy, and I knocked him out in like a couple seconds, 30 something, 40, maybe a minute. I'm not sure, but after that, I guess I was hooked, because then then it was all downhill.
Is that when you found out you had the power of Thor's hammer in your hand?
No, I've actually been in a lot of street fights around here growing up. I got in a lot of street fights. So I mean, I knew I could fight a little bit. I didn't know on a train level how good I was. But like I said, I just figured I'd do it until it didn't get fun anymore. And then
that's really unbelievable. Like a 28-year-old start, and then going pro at 30. That's almost like I mean, Daniel Cormier was like an Olympic wrestler at the time, but like Daniel Cormier didn't go pro till he was like 32 years old, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's too old to go pro," and he ended up being a 2-division world champion.
Yeah, in his 40s.
Yeah, in his 40s, and now you're 40. Well, see, me, Dillon, I'm 40 as well. Like, we make 40 look pretty fucking good. I'll tell you right there. Right?
Yeah,
right,
I trained in a 2-car garage. I never was a part of any big time gym. The only real legit trainer I've ever had in my life is the one that I'm currently with right now, Orlando Cuellar, the Florida Hall of Fame boxing coach.
Wow.
It was just a bunch of guys sitting around the garage, just kind of shooting the shit and pulling stuff off of YouTube.
What did were you with your wife when you started training?
No.
You met her later on?
My wife's a cancer survivor. She had leukemia at like the age of 25. Wow. A lot of people don't know, the last year I had a really bad hamstring injury. So I did 5 fights, and I think it was 2015. I did 5 fights. I won all 5 fights by knockout, mostly because I couldn't go to the ground because I had a torn hamstring. So luckily those guys stayed up long enough for me to knock them out. I won Florida Fighter of the Year that year, with 5 fights, 5 KOs.
Wow.
I told myself, I need to get this hamstring injury fixed, because it was, it's one of those injuries that just never healed up. Every time I would go to training, I would re-injure it. What everybody says about hamstring injuries, they never heal. So I fought Alex Nicholson. He was the last fight before I was going to take a break, because I need to get my hamstring healed up. I re-injured that several times during that camp. That camp only lasted about 2 weeks because I had a hamstring injury. I could really only train stand up. Long story short, I was really out of shape for that fight, which ultimately was the reason why I got knocked out. My mouth was hanging wide open, and he touched me with that spinning back punch, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, was it the elbow or the punch that landed? Because I watched the fight, and I rewound. I kept going back and trying to see what landed. But the replay never really showed if it was an elbow or a fist.
I think I just missed the elbow and caught like a little bit of the hand. I'm not really sure, but when your mouth's open and you get punched, it's really easy to get knocked out. It makes the jaw just that much weaker. So that happened, and I was gonna take about a year off just so I can get my hamstring healed. I met my wife. You know, she was a cancer survivor, and you know, she promised me she couldn't get pregnant. I feel like she trapped me. I'm not gonna say that to too many people, but I feel like it might have been a trap. She got me. That year turned into 4 years, man. We started, we had kids, and that year I wanted to take off turned into 4. I came back. I did two MMA fights just to kind of see if I still liked it. I knocked both those guys out. Then I signed the contract with Bare Knuckle for some reason.
Hard to hate it.
I thought that'd be a good idea.
Dead.
I mean, like, honestly, what, like, you got in your mind, you keep going in and knocking people out in the first round. Why not sign a contract with a place where all you got to do is hit people with your hands? Was it the hamstring did you re-aggravate that before the Josh Burns fight last year? And that's why
that was the same. Yes. Yeah. Okay. The same hamstring,
same exact hamstring is. And now it's like good, or is it something that you never really got fixed? You just let it.
See, I didn't really do like my idea of getting it fixed when I was in my early 30s was just taking some time off. And I didn't completely tear it again with Josh Burns. I just injured it enough that I couldn't move.
Yeah.
And fighting somebody like Josh Burns, you have to be able to move. You don't want to stand in front of him. You just want to be able to move if you have to. And so the fact that I couldn't move fast at all, walking wasn't a problem, but anything above a walk was causing me pain. And I didn't want to go in there and have to move and then ended up tearing it again and then having to start that whole process over again. Because as an older man, things don't heal like they used to. They didn't, when I was in my mid 30s, but right. Especially not now that I'm 40. It takes a little time.
Yeah. Were you a fan of the sport? Susan Walker's asking in the comments, were you a fan of the bare knuckle sport before you signed with them? Yeah. Okay. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've watched all these guys. I've watched Adams and Sherman. I've watched, the Jason Knight fight was the one in Biloxi where, the two guys are like, they just killed each other. I remember me and my wife watched that fight. And they posted like pictures of their faces afterwards.
Oh yeah.
I literally showed her that picture and said, "You see this stupid shit? I will never do this." And I swear, signed a contract with them right after that. It was crazy.
Here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
That's the one I tell everyone. Like, people ask me like, which is the fight that like really got you hooked? And it was Knight Lobov won. That fucking fight was unbelievable. And like you said, it looked like, zipper faces afterwards. They were like,
oh my gosh, yeah, like they were fighting with glass on their knuckles and their hands.
Yeah, never seen anything like it. Let's talk about this past weekend, man. You had quite a crowd behind you in Orlando. I don't know, how far is Pensacola from Orlando? I'm not.
It's about 6 hours away.
6 hours.
Yeah.
So just Florida. Period. They just love Dillon Cleckler apparently. Because
yeah.
Orlando. That house was jamming. They were blowing the roof off when you came out. When you dropped Arnold Adams in that first round, which Arnold had never been dropped like that before. I'm pretty sure it was the first time his ass ever touched the canvas. And you put that right hand on him. He fell down. But at that point, were you thinking to yourself, holy shit, I just knocked out the champ, or what were you thinking when you noticed that usually that fucking right hand hammer knocks everybody down and they don't get up? This guy popped up. What were you thinking at that point?
Well, like going into the fight, we had a clear cut, strategy that we were going to imply on Adams. And it was, it's not really a secret. He seems like he gasses in round 2 and then definitely in round 3 in most of his fights. So our game plan, I know y'all are going to laugh when I tell y'all this, is to wait, just wait it around until, round 3, let him gas out, put a little bit of pressure on him, but nothing serious. And then in round 3, we move in for the knockout. What happened? And I've been apologizing to my coaches ever since this because we had the right strategy. But when I knocked him down with that jab, it's almost like I saw myself with the belt. I saw all this stuff coming to a head, and I've done over 30 fights, and there's nothing about there's nothing about not being prepared for that moment. I should be able to say, but honestly, I forgot about everything except trying to knock him out. That's exactly what I did. There was no strategy involved. I forgot about most of the boxing stuff that I learned, and it was literally just, hey, let's try to land punches on his face, and hopefully he goes to sleep.
You smell blood in the water.
Yeah, exactly what happened. I forgot about all my training. I forgot about everything. And then, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, so, Megan, he didn't knock him out. So in the comments, someone's asking if we can play the KO video. Arnold Adams got up. Normally, Cleckler puts him down and they stay down. This is the time. That's why I asked him, what were you thinking at that point? And that's what you're going with here. Was it almost like, did you like you basically? So what you're saying is you basically put blinders on to the game plan. Like your coaches, were you even hearing your coaches at that point?
Well, no. Like I hit him with a jab, and I knew that wasn't going to be enough to put him out. But I hoped it was enough that I could land, a really good right hand and possibly end the fight quickly in the first round. It didn't go that way, and then I ended up getting hit with a nasty shot in like my temple, which I'm sure y'all are familiar. I've never been hit in a bare knuckle fight. I've been in a ton of street fights and I've been punched all over. But getting hit with a bare knuckle is a different animal. I got caught in the temple early in the first, or at the end of the first round, and I never got my shit back. Wow. I was dizzy. I don't remember anything my corner said. Right when I got hit in my right eye, the one that closed, I was fine. The punch that hit me in both eyes, that I got 30 stitches in one eye and like 15 under the right eye. Those punches really didn't hurt me like the temple shot did. The temple shot was it's just unreal how a knuckle to the eye or to the temple does to you, and you don't know that until you get caught by it.
Wow.
So the punch that ended the fight was a right hand that caught me directly on top of my eyeball.
That's fucking
incredible. That's really incredible. Swells automatically. So I got hit. I went down. I looked back up and I couldn't see. My eye was not working. It swelled shut within 2 seconds.
Wow.
And then I looked up at the ref and I said, I can't see. And that's when he stopped the fight. My eye was completely swelled shut and did not reopen until Sunday morning after the fight. That is a very unreal feeling because I like I said, I've been hit plenty. My chin is tested. There's nothing about my jaw that's weak. It has nothing to do with that. When you get hit on top of your eyeball with a knuckle, it's almost like being poked really hard. Your eye will automatically swell shut. And that's it. There really ain't much you can do after your eye swells shut. You're not fighting after that.
That's fucking mind blowing that you're even saying this in your fourth fight as a professional bare knuckle fighter. He's saying that he never felt that feeling yet, which is like fucking amazing to me because this is your fourth fight and you're going into a title fight.
I didn't get hit in my first 3 fights at all.
Wow, that's unreal, man.
I mean, Frank Tate caught me with like some graze shots on the side of the head, but nothing close to like knuckles to the face or knuckles to like a critical area of your head. You cannot take shots in bare knuckle. I don't give a shit what your chin feels like. You can get hit with a sledgehammer in the jaw, and it's not the same as get hit right on top of your eye with a bare fist. It's unbelievable.
It's not a
sport. Major cuts. It's crazy. Major cuts, bruising, broken bones. Like it's hard to tell how a fight is going to end in bare knuckle.
Right, and it's definitely not for one of those take two to give one fighters. You know what I mean?
No.
This shit is not your sport. If you're one of those walk through two to give one, you're gonna get yourself fucking hurt. That's for sure.
And I mean, that's basically like there wasn't a lot of punches that landed in that fight. Like honestly, it looks like my face has been beat up with a baseball bat. I really only took 2 shots to the face.
Yeah,
honestly, through that entire fight. I have knots all over the top, which is, I think Arnold broke his hand or broke both his hands. This sport is dangerous, and you punch somebody on the top in the wrong spot, now you got a broken hand. And it doesn't take a good shot to put somebody out. You just got to hit them in the eye in like a soft spot. I didn't really go into this fight planning on getting hit. That when I joined bare knuckle, my thoughts of the whole sport was, hey, I got to learn how to move. I lost 30 something pounds, and I was like, I got to be able to move. This is not wrestling. I'm not doing MMA anymore. I don't want to get hit. I had the right idea, but I didn't really understand the importance of that. Like me going in there trying to finish Arnold off left me wide open and I took vulnerable shots that you just can't take in this sport. This sport is a different beast. Without gloves on, you can't take those shots.
And is there really a way to train to get hit by a bare hand other than just fucking sparring with bare hands, which would be ridiculous? No. You know what I mean? There's really no way to practice for it.
The best you can do is boxing. You box and train, but a boxing glove gives you such a false security because you can't block most bare knuckles. When somebody's swinging at you with a bare fist, it's not like you have a 16-ounce or 18-ounce boxing glove to help you absorb or to block these shots. You can't do it.
And your timing will be off, and your range will be off a little bit too, with those big gloves on. They're a little weighty. That? I was saying your timing could be off too.
Right.
In your your distance, everything is different. The weight on your hand is different. It's so weird. We talk about this a lot because we're always talking to bare knuckle fighters, and over time, at first it was like, it's just a street fight, or it's just like boxing without gloves, and it's like no, it's a totally different sport. You have to train. People are learning that it's totally different. You can't just swing for the fences. If you hit people in the top of their head or somewhere,
right.
You could break your hand easily. It's not. You have to be agile. You have to dodge. You have to know exactly where you want to place your shots. It's not the same.
Absolutely. 100%. You have to be very, very shot selective, and you have to have an accurate shot, especially if you sit down on your punches and you really throw for power. In most of my fights, I talk about going to the body because I love going to the body because you can't break your hand doing that. It's a safe shot. You can pretty much unload all your power in the body and not have to worry about breaking your hands. When I fought Tate, I had a lot of body shots, a lot of heavy body shots, and then the one where I broke what's his name's ribs, Jensen, broke his ribs with a body shot. That one.
I got to do. Hey, so when we were walking into the weigh-ins, I was talking to Big Boy, and he's so funny, man. That guy's he's a riot. And you walk by with your family, and me and him were like mid conversation. He stops talking for a second. He goes, "Sorry, man, I just had PTSD for a second." I started laughing. I'm like, dude, you're funny as fuck.
Yeah, that had to be I felt so bad for that shot because that had to hurt him for a month. Broken ribs. I don't know if any of y'all ever had broken ribs, but
no.
I fucked up my ribs from the back. Honestly, on a deployment, I was like going under this ball, like this metal bar, and I stood up too quick, and it hit me across the back of my ribs, and it fucking put me out for didn't knock me out for a couple of days, but I was hurting for a few days. That's for sure. I never had a broken rib though.
Right. No, you can't do anything comfortably when you have a broken rib or even a hurt rib. Can't sleep. Can't take a shit. You can't laugh. You can't cough. You can't do anything without killing yourself.
Yeah. It's crazy. And now that we're talking about this, and like we're talking about, there is a science behind this sport. At the beginning, we noticed a lot of people weren't utilizing jabs. They weren't utilizing the body shots. They're just fucking going in there winging like wild hooks and shit. And we always, at the beginning, like when we first started covering the sport, we're like, why don't people use the fucking jab? Go right down the middle and beat this fucking middle of their face up with the jab,
Right.
and then work the body. And now you're seeing yourself and Mike Richmond and Cito, Lardy Navarro up in New York, beautiful body shots. And then Quentin Henry is like the jab master. Martina Kroll working that jab. It's like the sport is starting to like form itself.
Yeah.
And it's really, I think it's really going to take off like now that it's becoming a thing.
Evolve. Like you said, the beginning stage was a lot of brawling going on, and it kind of mimicked what a street fight would be. But now the guys are understanding that you can end the fight with a jab. You have a good strong jab, you can bust somebody up, because it don't take a lot to bust somebody up with bare knuckles. You just got to hit them anywhere. Like I said, I got 30 stitches right here, and
right now.
Oh yeah. I don't know if you can see that, but
I can
that's
see
not
it
my
now.
eyebrow. That's stitches always. It
30 stitches.
It almost blended in before.
It starts right here. Yeah, I'm gonna have a gnarly scar, but it starts right here and it goes all the way to the end of my eyebrow right here. That punch did not bother me at all. You know what I'm saying? Like it,
just the blood dripping.
Right. Besides the blood coming out, I felt myself get hit there, but the only reason I knew I was bleeding is because I seen it.
Right.
That punch wasn't a bad punch. It doesn't mess you up mentally. It just messes, it's cosmetic. It's going to cut the shit out of you because it's bare knuckles.
Unreal, dude. The whole fight was fucking like, and like I said, and we talked to Arnold after the fight, and we're like, Arnold, you fought the best of the best in the sport.
Yeah.
You've gone 5 rounds with fucking many top tier heavyweights in this sport.
Right.
Although this was only, a 2.5 minute round fight.
Right.
Was this the hardest fight you've ever had in your career? He said, fuck yeah, it was. Of course it was. This was the toughest man I've ever been in there with. His power's insane and blah, blah, blah. And like, he showed you tons of respect. It was a pleasure watching the fight. Like my last question about this fight to you is, where's your respect level now that you actually are the man who unlocked a new level in Arnold Adams? Nobody's ever seen him fucking crank it to 11 like that. What are your like final thoughts on Arnold Adams after this fight?
I mean, I had a ton of respect for him going into it, no matter what. To me, he's an automatic Hall of Famer to me because he's a 2-time champion. Nobody's ever won it twice, and he has. I didn't really think, at first, I didn't really think he could hurt me because, like I said, I've never been hit in bare knuckles. So I went in when I seen him fall down, I was thinking I'm gonna go punch for punch with him, and I'm gonna win because I hit harder than he does. See, it's all new respect now for anybody who does this shit. Which I always have respect for fighters because we do some insane shit. This if you do this for a living, there's something wrong with you, and if you say that there's nothing wrong with you, there's even more wrong with you than you realize. But I've always had respect for everybody who does this. There's very few guys out there that I don't show the utmost respect to. Adams is great, man, and his his ring presence is phenomenal. And I don't like talking about whether somebody has experience or not because, like I said, I've had over 30 something fights altogether. But ring experience in this sport does help you in an enormous way. Because, like I said, I've never been hit with bare knuckles like this in the streets. Yeah, but those don't last very long. It's not the same thing. You can't take these shots, and now that I know that going into it, you will not see me brawling like that anymore. I say that, but you never know. You should never go into these fights wanting to brawl because, like I said, it don't even have to be a great shot that's going to take you out. getting stitches and getting cut up, that's nothing compared to getting punched on one of your eyeballs, which you see a lot of people that fall to the ground, they're covering their eyes really bad.
Yep.
And I every time I saw that in the past, I was just thinking, he must not be used to getting hit. He must not had any street fights. He must not be used to getting hit with a bare fist. No. Because I did the same shit, and I've been in hundreds of street fights. You get punched on top of that eyeball, it is a different animal. You're not fighting through that. So that being said, I'm gonna take the Arnold Adams route, the one he used to do, and try not to get punched anymore because that shit sucks.
The calculated route, the cool, collected, pick your shots, calculated,
right?
Arnold Adams. Yeah, you unlocked a different Arnold Adams in that fight. A guy named Ed Rogers is in the comments saying, so the question is, once again, is BK more dangerous than MMA in your opinion?
In my opinion, absolutely. MMA is, there's a lot of different ways you get hit. You can get hit, but the fact that you are focusing on the head, your target is primarily the head. With 90% of the guys doing this sport, they are focused on your head, punches to the head. Absolutely. This is by far the most dangerous sport there is. Even the bare knuckle MMA that they're doing,
that's crazy.
Spread out. It's still spread out because you're doing kicks, you're doing leg kicks. You have multiple areas to focus on. The boxing, the bare knuckle boxing part, it's primarily focused on your head, your face, your head. And like I said, that temple shot that I took, man, that messed me up. I can feel where I got hit at. And no shit, right here, I promise you, he broke his hand right here because I can feel all four of the knuckles. I got 4 knots right here.
Knots. Damn.
I promise you, that's exactly where he hit me. I felt all 4 of the knots. Taking that in the temple, man, that has killed people before.
You're reading the braille on the side of your head, and you're like, "Yep, I can read that." That means his hand's broken.
Yeah, I could feel all 4 knuckles, and
that's crazy.
Right, it says right hook. Yeah,
I was telling them about to my wife and my trainer, and I was like, "Yeah, that I guarantee you, he punched me right there, square as hell, because I can feel 4 knots right in a row, and that was probably his hand."
Hey, you're telling the story of the fight, just touching your head.
Yeah.
I can read it, and I can tell you everything.
Next day, every punch that landed, and no matter where it landed, I felt every one of them. I felt every lump, like that. It stood. I can't even wear. I still can't wear a hat. I usually wear like a hat. My head is still swollen from the fight. I still can't wear it.
It's fucking nuts. Now you mentioned bare knuckle MMA right there.
Yeah.
This leads me into my next thing that I wanted to ask you. And a lot of people are in the comments asking the same thing. Like, who's next for you? What do you want next? What do you want next? Do you have somebody in mind? Obviously, you got a shitload of stitches you need to heal up. You probably got your hands are probably a little beat up. Yeah. You taking some time off, or you got somebody in mind? Because I was going to ask you if Alex Nicholson was ever an option to bring in to BKFC and maybe run that one back, would you like that fight? Because he's always at these fights. He's always there.
Yeah, he is always there. It doesn't hurt my feelings to fight him again. I don't care about the loss that I had with him. It's not like a vendetta thing. If anything, man, I promise you, I learn more from when I lose than I do from any fight you're going to win. I know that's cliche, and a lot of people say that, but since Alex Nicholson, I promise you will never see me go into a fight out of shape again. I learned that. I had to learn the hard way. I had to take a loss for it. But ultimately, I learned that lesson through him. Not bitter towards him. I don't really know the guy very, very well. If it happened that way, on the inside, I'd kind of be smiling like, yeah, I get my revenge. But I don't care.
Don't fight injured.
Don't fight injured.
Don't do it.
Don't fight out of shape. 2 things I will never do again. I don't really care who they throw at me after this point. I'm gonna take a little time off. I'm gonna let my stitches fall out, and heal up. Like I said, that last camp was a long man. It was 10 months, and it wore me out. I'm an old man, so.
Now, and you had mentioned that the first punch made your eyeball, or the last punch made your eyeball swell. Your vision, was it affected for a day or so, or
still? I'm still seeing blurry. Yeah. So it's when my eye did finally open, I could see it was extremely fuzzy. I had to get I had to go see an eye doctor, and I got my skull X-rayed, stuff like that. My vision's still a little bit off, but they said, the more time that I let my eyes heal, that all that'll come back and everything will be good, or as good as it was.
A lot of people are in the comments saying thank you for bringing this side of Dillon out. Like, are you usually just a quiet guy and never talk to anybody? Because
people would say that, but I if you talk to me, I'll talk back. But I'm not the kind of guy that's going to walk up to you and just start a conversation if I don't know you.
And plus, you're an intimidating looking guy. So out in public, I will tell you this: I don't see a lot of people probably wanting to walk up to you and start talking to you. They're like, don't need that problem.
And yeah, in the last days I've been walking around with two black eyes, and man, people won't even look. They cross the street when they see me. They see me. It's hilarious.
They're just jealous of that beard. That's what it is. They don't want to go near it.
They'll glance up at the beard and they immediately like shoot down. But no, I'm a nice guy, man. I'm down to earth. I got two daughters that I love with all my heart, and I'm a good guy. I'm not an asshole, which I've come to recognize. Most MMA people or fighters in general are dicks, man. They're cocky for whatever reason, and you can't really talk to them. I don't feel like I fit into that agenda, but probably get stereotyped just because this is what I do. But
of course.
You're not in any danger unless somebody's paying me to beat your ass, and we step in a ring together. Besides that, you're fine. I wouldn't fight anybody.
At every Adams show that we've been to, I feel like, this is the first time we actually had a conversation with you like this. I mean, Kyle had a couple of interviews at different events, but I just feel like you're just very quiet. Like usually you're just kind of standing off and just waiting for, the weigh-ins, and the weigh-ins are over and you're gone. And I felt like you're always just a very quiet guy. You know?
I am that also. I don't. If somebody talks to me, I talk back. But besides that, I'm just kind of waiting for things to just happen. Go away. I've always been a vigilant person, and I'm not trying to be the hardest thing for me to do MMA. This is a true story. The hardest thing for me to swallow when I was asked to do MMA was I got to fight in front of all these people with my shirt off. Are you joking? Like that was the hardest thing. I was like, can I put my shirt on? The hardest thing for me to because I don't like being a spectacle. I don't like being like the focal point of anything. I'm the guy who stands off in the corner and just kind of just minds my business.
Well, unfortunately for you, Dillon, you're like 6'4" and 250 pounds and fucking humongous. So you're going to be the focal point in most places. I don't know if you saw that comment that the champ says he looks like a Hell's Angel until you get to know him. That's why people aren't talking to you. It's fucking great, man. Well, you're definitely a professional and you conduct yourself in a very professional way. And with that said, I wanted to know if you wouldn't mind if we touched on a subject that most people want us to talk to you about, and it is the unfortunate event with Justin Thornton last year. We just wanted to ask you. I wanted to give you like some props because you handled that like a pro. You put out a great post to him and his family after he passed. But I wanted to ask you, man, like we were there that night when that happened. It was a scary sight in person. I can't even imagine what you were feeling like when it happened. But what were your thoughts in the ring at that point and in the days, weeks, month past after that? Like what was life like for you? Because I would imagine it was a little rough.
Yeah, absolutely. To call it rough is being very, very easy going with it. It was one of those things where it's like you feel like you're in a movie kind of, but then you keep realizing that no, this actually happened, and this could actually happen to you, and you have two small kids. Just the snowball effect of what that happened, the ripple effect of what happened with him. It puts a lot of things into perspective, man. Like never in my entire life would I think that I would even that I would know somebody who passed away like that. I mean, you hear about it happening,
Right.
But then to be a part of that happening is it, it it's insane. You know, I thought about retiring. I thought about, you know, just moving to a private island somewhere and not talking to anybody. I literally had to turn my social media off for like a month. The stuff that a lot of people don't understand, the reason I said it is because I didn't understand it. Um, the social media trolls or whoever they may be are relentless. There should be a crime for this. The stuff that they put out, the stuff that they say to you. There was people on there saying everything under the sun to me, threatening my kids, threatening my family, you know, all of the above. And it's, you know, you don't really know how to deal with it because you're in an emotional state already because of what happened. And I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Justin Thornton was a friend of mine. I've known that dude for 10 years.
You guys fought before that.
He was my very first professional MMA fight. Very first. And I've known him ever since. He's a great guy. He was known for never saying no to a fight. He took any fight. Didn't matter what it was. You can call him on short notice. You can call him on long notice. He was a warrior, man. He would fight anybody. And that's what he was known as. He never turned down a fight. I got out of the hospital about a month prior to when I fought him. I had appendicitis. My appendix ruptured when I was down in Miami at camp. I was in the hospital for 7 days. I needed some money, so I was trying to set up a fight on the Biloxi card because Biloxi is close to my house. It's about 2.5 hours away from where I live. So I was begging to get put on this card, and I told him the doctor said I can be active, you know, the day of the fight. They told me 6 weeks, take 6 weeks off. The day of the fight was 6 weeks, so I did wow. Listen to the doctor. I did wait 6 weeks before I was. But you know, it was one of those rush situations. So they put me on the card within like 2 weeks, and they couldn't find they on that short of notice. There's not a lot of people signing up to fight you, especially bare knuckle. You know, so you know they were calling everybody. The promoter that matched the fight said, you know, I got one more person I'm gonna call, and if you don't get this, then you know you're not gonna be able to fight in whenever it was June. So he was the last option, and it's weird how things work out like that. You know, and you scratch your head as to why things you like that because he could have easily said no. I don't know if he needed the money. You know, I don't know what his circumstances was for taking that fight. But, you know, a lot of names were thrown out there of guys who disliked me. And I was like, well, call him. Call this guy. You know, he's talking. He talks about me every single time he gets on social media. Of course, you know, surely he'll fight me. And according to this matchmaker, he did check all of these people that
nobody wanted to take
it. Which I get it. You know, 2 weeks. Not a lot of people were doing it. It probably wasn't for a lot of money because, you know, we were a lower fight on that card. But, you know, like I said, for some reason, I didn't even know it was Justin until, you know, after he said, yeah, they're like, yeah, we found somebody. So then I asked them who, and they're like him. They're like, he was excited about it. You know, I'll show you text messages where he was like, I finally get my rematch because after I beat him in MMA, his dude came to the locker room and he was like, whenever I heal up, I want a rematch. And I just kind of laughed at him like, okay, let me know. It took him 10 years to get that rematch, but he was excited about it. He couldn't wait. I talked to his cousin on the phone. His family did reach out to me, and I spoke to most of them. His cousin said, man, you know, he was super excited about the rematch. He couldn't wait to get in the ring with you. And man, if you watch that fight, that Joker came off the line like a wild animal.
Oh yeah,
like he
absolutely.
Was. You know, people are like, you know, why are you fighting somebody that's not in shape like you are? Why are you fighting this guy? He was clearly not as skilled as you are. You couldn't tell Justin that shit. Justin came at me like nobody has since I started this BK or anywhere. He came at me balls to the walls trying to knock.
Definitely did.
I mean, the punch you landed, you were backing up, like you say, he was coming forward as that happened. You step back.
Yeah, it was a belt. I was trying to get out of the way, basically, and that punch was trying to get me just to turn that corner.
Right.
I just caught him. I caught him on a good spot.
I thought that it was important that we brought this up, and Mike did too. It's like you say the internet trolls is one thing. I thought that the media coverage of this was an absolute fucking travesty afterwards. And the one that like really bothered me the most was when I saw TMZ put a fucking article out. Like TMZ, like you've ever fucking covered this sport before ever, you fucking dickheads. And the headline said, bare knuckle fighter passes away after knockout.
Right.
That's no not even close to the fucking truth.
Not even what happened.
Not even close to the truth.
But the stigma of this sport, it's barbaric. It's we're cavemen. We're out here just beating each other's faces in. It's very easy for someone to do it that way because everybody's going to agree with you most of the time because they don't know shit about the sport.
They don't know the humans. It's all about the headlines and not the humans. It doesn't matter what actually happens.
They just know that most people are going to go with that headline and they're going to run with it because of the sport. You say bare knuckle to somebody and you could say bare knuckle golfing and you say bare knuckle and they're like, oh my God, that it sounds barbaric. It sounds brutal,
Right. And like Mike just said, the even like sadder state of the human being right now, the social media addicted fucking human out there, they only read headlines. They don't even open up articles and read an article. It's like, you know what I mean? I don't think people even read fucking articles anymore. No. They just read the headline and they just go with it. You know what I mean?
And that's what they remember forever after that.
Absolutely. They do. There was another incident where a guy that I trained with, Yuli Diaz, he had a troll that was threatening his family. It was a guy he knew, and he knew him in high school. He lived a couple blocks away from him, and he was literally calling and threatening his family, saying, stuff like, "How are you gonna feel when I shoot your dad?" And Yuli took matters in his own hands, which, we're fighters. We're not crazy, but most men, if they knew where the person was at that is making threats to his family and his livelihood, most men are going to go handle that. And they're not going to call the police, they're going to go handle it, themselves. Yuli is just another victim of these trolls, man. Like they have to do something about this shit. I'm not really sure which way to go with it, but it's a problem. There's people out there that say stuff that you shouldn't say. There's a guy right now that talks to my wife like she is, like I don't want to, like, calls her all kind of names. If I ever run into this guy, I hate it for him. I promise you, nothing's gonna stop me because that is my family. That is all I care about.
I just don't understand the mindset of people. Like, do you not think that one day you might run into these people? Are you fucking crazy?
That's exactly what they think.
Like, it won't. You are not protected by your computer screen. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable.
Most of them hide behind their profile, their fake profiles, but they don't understand. There's ways to find out who you are. You can search an IP address and find out exactly the address it's coming from. And a lot of these guys don't know that. A lot of these guys just think that they're safe because they're behind this screen and they're keyboard gangsters, and they're saying some of the harshest stuff you can say to a person. When you start family, you start bringing up their kids and how you're going to hurt their kids when you see them. One guy said to me when the Justin Thornton thing happened, they said, I'm going to knock out one of your kids and see how you feel. And I was just like, my wife, I shut it off, shut my social media off for a little while. But when I turned it back on, my wife was like filtering these to me. She was deleting them as fast as she could. But when I tell you I was getting 500 to 600 threatening messages every single day on all forms of social media, and it was just that. And if I would have been reading those the whole time, man, it would have drove me insane. It would have mentally made me unstable.
I bet.
It's unreal, man. And we're glad that you opened up about that. I don't know if you've gone on any shows and opened up about that at all, but we thought it was important that you talk about it a little bit, and like people get to hear the realness behind it.
Most people stay away from that question, which I don't ask them to. I kind of just let them go whichever way they want. And if they want to ask about it, sure. I don't love talking about it, but I will address it because it needs to be addressed. It needs to be said. It's not something I'm trying to keep a secret. It's a very very unfortunate event, and it changed my life. No, hands down, everything about it. My perspective on the sport. Me fighting and having a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old daughter. It's something that I think about now, and I always will forever.
We appreciate it, man. We appreciate you talking about it, and I'm glad you don't want to fuck us up for asking that question.
Not at all.
Mood lightener Vince Anderson says, "How about ask DC how he feels about losing the best beard contest to Travis Thompson? What are you high?
Ouch.
What?
Ouchies!
Oh,
come on now.
I mean,
you know what?
I feel like we'd have to get them on full display before.
I think so too.
Call me, saying I lose, because if there's one thing I can do right, I can do that. I can do it in my sleep. I can do it 24 hours a day. I can grow a beard.
Do you have a beard like sponsor for like beard oil and stuff like that?
No, man, I don't understand why, because I use that stuff. Like I use it all the time.
Oh, you need that.
I have a buddy who owns a company called Beard Octane. They're a big company. Maybe I should float them your profile and say, hey, why don't you get on this dude's shorts?
I go on this talk show.
Wait, what?
The Bearded Man talk show, because I posted a while back, about a year ago. I let my 2-year-old daughter at the time shave my beard, and I put it on TikTok, and it's got like 5 million views. It's incredible.
No way.
Yeah. But I got on a beard talk show, and they were just like, what were you doing? It was funny. It's funny as hell.
Mike jokingly was like, what we should do to advertise for our show is like advertise that Dillon's gonna shave his beard live on our show, and like see how many people actually tune in. Fucking, I wonder how many people would have been watching.
Right?
I'll do it, man. I mean, my wife, she claims she likes my face. I think it's just a way to get me to do it. But my youngest daughter, she's 1. She'll turn 2 next month. She's only seen my real face once, and she was probably so young at the time she don't remember. So I don't do it often, but I normally try to shave my beard off after every fight, just to kind of start over, and to really, really, really see how old I look, because the beard hides most of that. But when you shave it off, man, you ain't hiding shit. Then it's straight old age after that.
It's funny you say that about your daughter not recognizing you, because when I grew up, like my dad always had like a big Tom Selleck mustache. Yeah. And like, I remember when I don't know, I might've been like 6 or 7 years old. He came out of the bathroom with no mustache on. And I was like,
yeah,
who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
Like, what happened to you? Something's wrong with Dad. What's going on here?
So what I'm going to do, what I plan on doing is, I'm going to wait for my girls to go to sleep, and I'm going to shave it in the middle of the night, and then let them wake up, kind of just walk around the house, like, and just see how they look. I'll get my wife to film it or something. It'll be funny as hell.
Man, that beard's so long. You could donate that to Lots of Love. That's
right. I feel like I can, man. I mean, it's there. There's a lot going on.
Or to some people who can't grow a beard, maybe.
Yeah,
they can just wear it like a wig, but like a beard wig.
Like a wig, there you go.
like a merkin for your face.
Yeah.
You know what a merkin is, Dillon?
No, I don't.
It's like a wig for a woman's vagina in movies.
Yeah,
it's a fake bush.
You can definitely do that. It is straight. It is straight pubic hair. It's thick, grainy. It's pubic hair.
Big Ben says, shave off your hair and put it on my head. Fuck off, Ben, you big bitch. Anyways, hey, man, we've had you on almost an hour. Let's play a little quick game with you and have some fun, and then we'll let you get on your way. We appreciate how much time you've actually given us tonight. It's great. All right, speed round with the bad boy Dillon Cleckler. Here we go. And obviously the first question on the speed round for you is to name the top 3 beards in the BKFC. We're all this beard talk right into it. Let's go.
That's a tough one. I don't know a lot of names, but Mundell had one. I was peeping Mundell out before he fought his fight. He is a decent beard. I was low key comparing beards at the weight.
There was one other one on that fight card that was pretty stellar too. You know,
You just mentioned it, and I'm trying to picture who he is, but I can't right now.
Mike, come on, who is it?
Thompson.
Art Parker.
Art Parker, yeah.
Art Parker with the shaved head and the big beard and the
He
hairy
did have a
chest.
beard. Arnold Adams has a beard.
Arnold Adams has a beard.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a couple nice beards on that last show for sure.
Here you go. Number 2 for you.
Favorite board game?
Man, I don't really do board games.
At this point in time, maybe you're playing like Don't Break the Ice or Ants in the Pants, something like that.
My daughter likes to play the Frozen Don't Break the Ice. I think that's what it's called actually. But yeah,
A little hammer.
do that, and then they got the jumping bear. You got to feed the bear. I play the board games, the children's board games, kid board games.
You played the shark one where you gotta pull the teeth and then it bites your hand.
Yeah, Baby Shark song has haunted my life and will forever.
I've been to Baby Shark Live before.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You went to that?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh man.
My 1-year-old is now continuing that thing. She is obsessed with Baby Shark. And I have no idea. It's the most simple thing you can possibly come up with, but it feeds children. I don't know why, because they love it.
They do.
I'm lucky enough to, I think like my boys were just old enough to where like they were just outside the age range to get hooked on that shit.
Right.
Yeah, bless. Thank
Baby
God.
Haunt your life for the rest of it. Anytime you hear it, you'll automatically think about that.
Well, you know what? I'm glad it didn't get to me in my house. I got a question for you. What is your biggest pet peeve? What is your biggest BKFC pet peeve?
Give him an example, Kyle.
I'll tell you my example, Dillon. This is my example. I cannot fucking stand when Jeff Houston says undefeated at 1-0. Dude, come on. He's 1-0. Stop with the undefeated. Just say he's 1-0. He's in the red corner at 1-0.
Fight. He's boosting the fight up.
Hell yeah.
Oh, God, that shit drives me crazy. God.
I think it's funny how they always come out with some kind of new gimmick to like make you feel more safe to be fighting with bare knuckles. Like they had like the glove on at one point where you had to put like the knuckle-free gloves on, and then they did the gauze and then did the wrap, and I'm like, man, and what is the point of wrapping your hands? Please, somebody tell me. So you don't break your wrist when you're killing somebody with your bare knuckles. What is the point of wrapping your wrist?
Do you have to wrap your wrist? Like, can you go out there with no wraps?
I'm pretty sure you got to put something on there because that's how they distinguish the red and the blue corner.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But why? I'm not really worried about my wrist when you're beating my face in. Like, who cares? You're not going to sprain it.
Good question. We're gonna have to ask about that.
That is a good question because you do see some guys with just like a little bit around their wrist. You see guys all the way up to like here.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you say, what's the point?
Just
I mean, like put one strip around your wrist and fucking call it red or blue.
I tape mine like all like a form guard almost. Like I go all the way, but I literally do it because I don't want to hurt my wrist. Which now looking at that, it kind of seems stupid because I've been walking around with 2 bloody eyes for a week, and my wrists are great though. I did not hurt my wrist in that whole altercation.
Hey, Howie Atherton, take it easy, guy. We all know that Jeff Houston.
Still love him.
We still love Jeff Houston. I just wish he would drop the undefeated at 1-0.
Do you think you're about to hear like 10-0 or something? It's a 1-0.
He's building.
I know he's building up.
You go like this, like, shit, he's undefeated. Oh, wait,
another thing that Jeff does, and now I'm picking on Jeff. Okay, here now is what Jeff does. When they were announcing like inaugural champions, the yelling and new before saying the fighter's name made no sense at all because there was never a champion before. And like he goes, and new, and he like drags it out, and we're like, who the fuck is it? Because there wasn't one before. So just say the person's name, Jeff. And then he says it, and we're like, fucking Jesus Christ. Anyway, now I'm picking on Jeff Houston.
Yeah.
Now Jeff Hughes is gonna fuck you up.
He's gonna fuck me
All
up.
right. Number 4. If you opened up your own restaurant, what cuisine would you serve?
Man, that's a good one. I'm telling you, I'm blessed because my wife is she's a very attractive woman, but she also is a full-blooded Italian woman.
Ooh.
So her mother makes everything homemade, anything Italian homemade. I would seriously try to get them employed into doing that, but that's what I would do.
There you go, Mike. Italian
I
restaurant.
would share that world because it is amazing. It's probably why we've been happily married for so long.
It's nothing like a good Italian meal for sure.
Oh, I do love Italian food. Do they make gnocchi?
No, I've never heard of that. But
yeah, and I have gnocchi. Oh my god, so
she makes stuff, and I don't really need a name for it. I'm just going.
I just eat
both hands. Yeah.
All right, last question for this one here. What is something that you constantly want to do, but you have to refrain from doing it?
I don't know.
Mine's eating ice cream. I always want. I could eat ice cream every day. I love it so much.
Yeah.
I have to stop myself because I'll probably have a heart attack by the time I hit 40.
I mean, my kids, my girls have like snack drawers. I don't know if I've ever seen those on Pinterest.
Yeah.
I got really high blood pressure, so I've been told by doctors to medicate my high blood pressure with gummies, weed gummies. Best thing on the planet. It actually makes my blood pressure like normal. So those snack drawers, they're
calling your name.
Yeah, I usually take my weed gummies like before I go to sleep. But man, about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, you will catch me lurking in this house. I'll be finding that candy, and it's I told my wife about it. I was like, I'm not losing the beginning of this camp when we got back to Pensacola. I was like, I'm not losing any weight, and she goes, well, stop going in there eating the kids' shit at 5 o'clock. You might see that it starts to work. So that every time I wanted to get up out of bed and go get some snacks, I kept hearing my wife say that over and over again, and it actually worked. And I did actually lose some weight because I stopped doing it.
Yeah, man, those snack drawers are dangerous. Like I go upstairs right now, there's like those Annie's fruit snacks. I got the Pirates booty. You got friggin' goddamn, like every little stupid thing. I'm like, oh my god, like I want everything in here.
A diet is easy as it used to be when you have children because you have to have snacks.
Yeah. Megan says peanut butter wafers is what's going to give me a heart attack. Eat her kids peanut butter wafers. So I'm glad that my wife doesn't really pay attention to how much snacks we put in the kids' bags every day, because their snacks go away twice as fast as they should.
Yeah.
Because my ass, when everyone goes to bed at night, I do the same goddamn thing. I'll be like, "Ooh, granola bar."
Eating those Chewy bars, yeah.
I thought the snack bars were. I thought everybody had their own drawer, but my wife. No, all that's for the kids. I thought I had a drawer. I thought they had a drawer, healthy drawer, which nobody messes with the healthy drawer too much. But I thought I had my own drawer. Turns out all those are for the kids. I just claim one for myself.
The healthy drawer is like overflowing. You can't even shut it.
It's still there. It's got
he walks by the healthy drawer every day, Mike, and goes like this.
Right.
Yeah.
So do I. It never gets open. Never.
Hey, and we got a couple more things we're gonna do with you. All you got to do is pick one or the other. Ready? This or that. Mixed drink, beer or wine.
Mixed drink all day.
Mixed drink all day. Number 2, Mike.
Phone call or text message?
Text message, man. I get offended when people call me sometimes. I'm like, who do you think you are calling me?
I don't want to hear your voice. What are you, crazy?
Yeah.
Number 3,
incredible.
Pizza or tacos?
Pizza.
All day, every day.
All day.
Action or comedy?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'd have to go comedy. I like comedy.
There you go. And last but not least, and this is the final question of the night: Farrell or Farley?
Man, I'm going with Farley.
There you go. Step Brothers, baby.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
The man's a legend. They're both a legend.
Did you say Farrell or Farley?
He said Farrell. Right?
Farrell.
Okay. Yeah. Farrell, Step Brothers.
Yeah. Yes. Will Ferrell's a hook. Have you ever seen that one where he does where his kid's like the landlord?
No, I've never seen that one. I've seen clips of it online.
Oh, yes. So when he opened the door.
Yeah, his daughter's like can barely talk, can barely put sentences together, but she is cussing this man out. And I don't know how they do it because, she's like a full blown conversation where she's yelling and cussing at him, and she looks like she can barely talk, but somehow they pulled off. It is one of the funnest things you'll ever see.
Fucking, I've seen what clip you're
I'll have to
talking
go
about.
watch that
I
whole
didn't
thing.
know it was like a full thing, but I'm gonna check that out. It was on Funny or Die, right? That's where it was, on funnyordie.com or something like that.
Yeah, I saw it on YouTube. It's hilarious.
There you go, man. Thank you very much for coming on here and being such an open book with us. We talked your fight career, we talked your main event the other night, we talked the other thing, and we had some fun with you. Before we let you go, why don't you say a few things if you want to shout some people out, thank some people.
First and foremost, I thank God for everything that He has blessed me with in my life. I just got my ass whooped in the main event, but I have a beautiful family and two healthy daughters, and there's nothing more important than that. That is what life is all about. The rest of it is a good story. I want to thank all my sponsors. I'm not going to go through every one of them, but without y'all, this wouldn't be possible. It literally takes a village to take care of a fighter. And here in Pensacola, I have a huge number of people that help me and support me on the daily basis. And of course, my wife for keeping me straight and being my wifeinger.
Your wifeinger. The new word, man. New word, wifeinger. Hey, I want to, you know how important you are to everybody in the bare knuckle community. The boss is watching right now. My man is a beast. Great show, guy.
This could be the first time because I don't think I've ever seen him. If he's watching, I've never seen him comment. So I like to think that he's a secret fan and watches every time. That's why I tell myself before I go to sleep.
Filming, I don't know if he gets a bad rep or not, but man, he's always looked out for me. I literally talked to the dude after the Justin Thornton situation. He he texted me right after this fight and checked on me and seen how I was doing. I'm sure he didn't want any credit for that, but I have to give credit where it's due. He don't have to do that shit. He's the highest on the totem pole, and he don't have to look out for our checkup on us like he does. So kudos to him, man, and he's a real legit guy. He's top of the line.
That's solid.
They've all been great to us. So.
Yeah, for sure. We appreciate everything they've done for us too. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Dillon. Everybody, make sure you go on his social medias. Dillon DC Cleckler, Dillon Cleckler on TikTok, and Dillon Bad Boy Cleckler on Facebook. But don't troll his ass because one day you'll have to see him. You might have done fucked up.
There's not a lot of fighting stuff on there, but you'll get to see my girls harassing me and they it's mostly about them because I'm not that interesting, but they are extremely interesting. They do funny shit all the time.
All right, man. Well, I beg to differ, Mike. You got anything else for Dillon?
No, thank you so much for coming on. And like Kyle said, being an open book, this is a great conversation.
Of course, man. Thank y'all for having me. Been a great show.
All right. Yeah, you're welcome back anytime, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. Thanks.
All right, later. Dude, fucking awesome. Good talk with a great guy right there, man. And like we talked about during that interview, he is a quiet guy. When we see him at these events, like we said, you don't see him talking to a lot of people. You see him staying to himself. He sticks with his family, or he stays with whoever he's with, and and you don't see a lot of people approaching him either. But we just proved to the world that he's got a great side to him. A good guy, fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, every time I've seen him at an event, because he was at Knucklemania, which was the first event that we covered live, and I feel like he showed up there, and then the place that he was with his group of people, that's where they were the whole time. Like in that one spot, they kind of talked. Every now and then someone come up, say hey, and that's it. Just very quiet. That's it. But then when you go up to him, say hi. Always nice, always respectful, just to the point,
Yeah.
So it was good to be able to talk to him for over an hour. Like I would have never imagined talking to him for over an hour, and here we are. We probably could have kept talking to him for even longer. I never shut up, so it's easy to talk.
Yeah, and thank you for everyone to saying a lot of nice things. A lot of people were really liking that interview, so I appreciate it. If you guys can do us a favor, share the show, Get all your friends to follow us on YouTube. We've been trying to build our YouTube for fucking ever, and this shit is like the most impossible task in the world. I think we should do one more thing before we close out the show.
Sure.
Thank you very much, Monica. She says one of your best interviews yet. Great job. Thank you. We appreciate that. I thought that was a great interview too. He's a fucking pretty open guy. I loved it. There were some dumb people in the last week, Mike.
Real dumbos.
Real dumbos. And I think before we close out the show, I think we should name ourselves a Stunod of the Week.
Hey.
Get off my yard, you fucking Stunod.
Hey. What do we got here?
Mike. I got 4 candidates today. You recognize all of them. A total dick, a not so smooth criminal, the UFCP guy. You see what I did there?
I do.
The UFC PI and the not so Sunny. Do you know who that is? The Sunny. Do you know who that is?
No, I don't know. No. Who is it?
Do you remember 90s wrestling? Sunny, the fucking girl that used to walk wrestlers out to the ring.
Yeah.
Who was like an absolute smoke back in the day.
And that's her now?
That's her now. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about a lot of people are saying we're missing somebody in the Stunod of the Week nominees. But anyways, Andy Dick, comedian, actor for a long time, a total dick. He was arrested for an alleged sexual assault on a man. But this is not the first time he's been allegedly assaulting people sexually. And this is the 4th time he has done something like this. 2018, he was charged with sexual battery and simple assault on a woman. 2017, he was fired from a film for groping, non-consensually kissing on and licking coworkers. And in 2007, he was dragged off the set of Jimmy Kimmel's show for inappropriately groping Ivanka Trump repeatedly, while they told him to knock it off and he wouldn't stop, and they dragged him off the show. This is his latest feat in the world of Stunod dickery. Andy Dick assaulted a man sexually. Up next, the reason why I'm nominating not so smooth criminal Jorge Masvidal is because he is going to trial for his assault on Colby Covington. Now, everybody knows he assaulted Colby Covington. He bragged about it. He talked about how he was going to assault Colby Covington. He did it on camera, multiple different camera angles of him assaulting Colby Covington, and then went on his social media and bragged about doing it to Colby Covington. Now pleads not guilty and is going to go to trial and try to defend himself in the court of law after fucking straight up mapping the goddamn crime out on social media. You fucking Stunod.
And then he bragged about it on social media, like right afterwards, like show your teeth. Oh my God.
Unfucking real. You cannot be that dumb. Number 3, the reason why I nominate Nate Diaz, because today he posts a picture of him pissing on the UFC PI, the Performance Institute there. And then he posted online and says, I make more money than all y'all. They won't fire me. Dude, you don't fight ever. Okay. You turn down fucking all kinds of shit. You're the most inactive fucking popular fighter on the roster. I feel like this is just such a fucking dickhead thing for him to do. He's just shoving it up the ass of all the other fighters on the roster. Like, you guys are a bunch of punk bitches that keep fighting for this company and not getting paid shit. I get paid way more than you, and I'm going to piss on their fucking building and make fun of it. That's just a Stunod move in my eyes. I don't know. What do you think about that, Mike?
I mean, yeah, he does a lot of. I feel like he's ever since the Conor fights and stuff. I love Nate. Everybody loves Nate Diaz brothers. We love to see them fight. They do have some funny attitudes, but it's been drawn out now for a long time, and they just kind of carry on. And like you said, not fighting that much. So, and yes, it is kind of shitty that everyone knows he makes a lot of money though. So it's not like that's anything new. It's just, it's kind of silly.
It's just stupid. It's
silly. It's stupid. Get in there and get a fight, man. Get a fight, make some money.
Last nominee. I don't know if you guys remember what this girl used to look like. She was a bombshell back in the fucking 90s. She was a super smoke back in the 90s. All us teenage kids back then thought she was the hottest thing in fucking pro wrestling. Her name was Sunny back then. Her name is Tammy Lynn Cinch or something like that. She got arrested for like her fucking dozenth fucking DUI, dude. killed somebody with her car this time is facing 30 years for vehicular manslaughter. And you know what she does? She goes online and chops her OnlyFans price off 50%. For a short time, you can get her OnlyFans for 50% off. You fucking Stunod of a woman. I don't know. Like, I can't even think of how, like, what's going on in her. She's like, you know what I'm going to do to try to fund my fucking defense team that's going to try to get me off of my 10th or 12th fucking DUI that I just killed somebody with my car. I'm going to 50% off my OnlyFans. Let's fund my fucking defense team. So there are your nominees, ladies and gentlemen. A total dick, a not so smooth criminal, the UFC P guy, and not so sunny. Mike, who is our Stunod of the week? Go ahead. You're the guy.
All right. So I think I said this in the past, and I think going into the future, we're going to have to start cutting out the molester people, because I'm going to tell you, how do you beat a molester? It just doesn't happen. So I feel like if you throw them in there, they're always going to be that person. So I'm going to disqualify a total dick, because he's always going to be the Stunod against anybody who didn't commit a crime that's as heinous and similar as the stupid shit that people do, like diddling and shit like that. I've no patience, no tolerance for that. Zero tolerance for that bullshit. So get that dude out of there. He doesn't even deserve to be the Stunod. I feel like it's an honor. Listen, Jorge Masvidal, I get it. Everyone says, listen, hey, man, he's from the street. We know he's from the street. He's from the street. And you know what? I do love that about him. He says what he means, and he means what he says. And he's a man of his word, and he does what he's supposed to do. But here's the thing. Don't killers move in silence?
They do.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
they do.
Stop flaunting it. Just do it. We don't need to know that you did it, but we know that you did it. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what you do. Be smart about it. You're famous. Don't be an idiot.
In the words of your father-in-law, he's being a flaunter.
He's out there. He's flaunting everything. And you know what? Don't be flaunting anymore, because you're famous. You have a lot of money. Everybody's out to get you. You know, strangers want your money, and they're going to get it if you're doing stupid shit like this. Granted, this is Colby Covington. They have a thing going on. But I believe he would do this to just about anybody if they're talking shit, because he's that kind of dude. Just be silent about it. I mean, come on. Learn. God damn it. What the hell is going on with people? You know what I mean? Look, we just talked about Nate Diaz. I kind of already said my piece on him. My piece. Haha. No pun intended. But listen. Just get a fight and stop being so damn petty about everything. I mean, Jesus, you're rich.
So are you narrowing it down to Jorge and Sonny? Is it narrowed?
Yeah, pretty much. It's down to them two. And I mean, obviously, our Stunod of the week has to be Sonny, because what the where's the judges in this? What is going on? I see this all the time. Why are all these people how do you have more than 2 DUIs? Where are you getting your license back? Or are you just driving around? Like, I don't understand how these people get these chances one after another. It's like, you want to give these people all the chances. Maybe you should go to jail too. Maybe if a judge said, all right, you get your license back after this time, or didn't suspend it forever. Listen, anyone can just get in a car and drive without a license. We get it. Mm-hmm. You can get someone's keys and do that. But if this person, it happens, we'll just suspend your license for a year, or, whatever. It's bullshit. How do you get that many DUIs? Now she killed somebody. I mean, and then she tries to do this friggin' stupid ass. Nobody wants to see you, lady. The only thing I want to see is you driving off of a cliff. Okay. So Stunod of the week, Sonny, not so sunny.
Look at what she's turned into. Who's paying for her OnlyFans right now? That's my question. Like, she in this state right here, in that state, nowadays has an OnlyFans that she make. That proves my point that anybody can make money on a fucking OnlyFans page. You don't even have to be good looking at all. Yeah. Someone out there is going to pay to look at you. I mean, I'm one early morning and one bad day away from selling pictures of my feet on the internet, my friend.
Yep, that's right. So.
All right. Well, there's your Stunod of the week. Her name is Tammy Lynn Cinch. You can get her OnlyFans for 50% off and really help her defend herself in her fucking 10th DUI and manslaughter charge. Be an American and help her out, right? No, don't do that. Stunod of the week. Thank you very much to Dillon Cleckler for one of the best interviews we ever had on this show. I didn't know he would be such an open book, and I'm extremely excited about that. Huge thank you to him. And next, we make sure you guys are tuning in tomorrow night, BKFC Omaha 2.
Yep.
You got our boy Jay Fish taking on Houston Alexander. You got Josh Dyer in the main event against Dakota Cochran. Do we have the fight card to pull up or not?
I don't have the fight card to pull up, Kyle, but
We got Cody, our boy Cody Land's on there. It's like,
Land is fighting Shut.
Yep.
Which that's like that right there. That's probably a sleeper fight right there. You know who's fighting is Simpson.
Oh, David Simpson.
Yeah, remember? So when
Scott O'Shaughnessy fight,
right? And
that guy, he can throw.
He got knocked down a few times, and I was like, this dude's all done. And then you know what? O'Shaughnessy started getting a little tired. The rounds started going, one after another. Boom! Now we're in the third, fourth, fifth round. This guy started coming back. I was like, oh shit, is this guy gonna fucking come back and win now after all this?
That's what we thought. We thought O'Shaughnessy maybe took the foot off the gas pedal a little bit in that fight, and it kind of bit him in his ass because after cleaning out the first 3 rounds, he thought he could just coast, and David Simpson had different plans that night. Dude, I don't know a lot of the guys on the fight card, to be honest with you. I was like watching the weigh-ins and stuff, but did you see that one of the dudes early in the night has like 86 pro MMA fights? Did you see that? They announced. No. Fuck, I'm trying to get the
86 MMA fights, huh?
Yeah, it was something like that, like 86 or 80 fucking something. Wow. I think it was the dude.
Was it Long?
No, I want to say it was like Serrano, maybe Serrano. No. Krejci or something. Krejci. Krejci. I think it was him. I think he's got like more fucking fights than everybody else on the card put together. It's
Josh Krejci.
Yeah, maybe it was him. I don't know. There was somebody on the weigh-ins that had like fucking a million goddamn fights. So I'm curious to see how a guy like that does in his.
Well, yeah, it wasn't him. Well, yeah, I don't see this guy's got one. He's 1-0.
Anyways, man, tune in tomorrow night. Big Ben asks Houston Alexander, hip hop aficionado, is taking on our boy Jay Fish. We like both of those guys.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a banger in the co-main event. So as always, and I know that there's probably going to be some people online bitching and saying that the BKFC is wrong for not putting a fucking female fight on this card again. But before you guys go fucking crying about it, I would like to say that the female roster is not the deepest in the world, so they can't keep putting fights on every single card. They got to spread them out a little bit. So just
just your thoughts.
Be thankful that we're getting this many cards and we get to watch this sport so often. It's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, we can pull this up real quick, courtesy of Monica. Just send me this real quick, and I put it up on this background.
Yep. Big Ben is asking if we're going to do a viewing party. I don't know, Ben.
I doubt it, because we went from Orlando. We left on Wednesday. We were gone Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We came back at night. There was UFC. We wake up. We had one day with our families, which I spent maybe half of it doing video editing. Monday went to work, video editing. Now, here we are Wednesday, Thursday. I highly doubt we're going to do a viewing party tomorrow because, we do have to do other things
And Monica just reminded us too that Britain and Beck were supposed to be the main event. So
that's right.
We hope that they get to make that fight sometime in the near future. I don't really know the whole backstory there, but
we'll have to get Britton and Joey on, because it's been a little bit since we had them on. They've both been on a few times, but maybe we'll talk to them and see what's up and what's going on next in their careers. I think that should be a couple of guests we should get on within the next few weeks. So
absolutely, man. Well, great show tonight. I'm glad you're feeling better. Thank you guys for all tuning in and sticking with us for an hour and a half again after a 2-hour show last night. Mike, I did a show by myself last night, 2 hours, man.
I seen it. I was watching. I was watching. I was sharing. I shared it all over.
Travis Thompson. Travis, you're always in the comments giving us shit. We will have you on anytime, man.
Anytime you can come on. You could come on right now, and we'll just extend the show.
Man, it's been a great couple of weeks for us. We're probably not going to do a view party tomorrow. We're just going to call it a night. And with that,
give me a call, Ben. Give me a call.
Mike, what else
we'll
you got?
talk about it. I don't got anything else, man. I'm good to go.
All right. Well, we will see you guys next week after another BKFC card. We'll have a lot to talk about, and we'll have some great guests as always. Until next time, peace.